Good morning, neighbors. Welcome to our next installment of Election 2025 candidate interviews. I'm June Margolin from Huntington Matters. Behind the camera, we have Dana Richter, our Vice President, monitoring the video. And in the other room, we have Diane Shaver monitoring the audio, who's our producer. Today, we have the distinct pleasure of having a wonderful campaign chat with Mr. Andre Sorrentino, who is our current Superintendent of Highways. And we're going to get to know him a little bit further. He's running for re-election. Hey, Andre, thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to step forward to serve our community as Superintendent of Highways.
So I've been in office, it'll be 4 years this January. And prior to that, I was a Director of General Service, and I did that for 4 years. So reason I did it, I followed Bill Norton, was one of my dear friends, and I followed his footsteps. And I was always an outside contractor for the town. I was an outside contractor for the county, along with running my own business in Huntington with my brother since 1986, which is still going. My brother handles everything, and my wife, and they do that. And being business people in Huntington, my parents have a shoe shop in Huntington since 1959. They've been serving Huntington as well. My father's still in business in Huntington. So we're kind of the fabric of Huntington. I was brought up here. My kids are here. They go to schools here. So I wanted to run for highway, and I said, as soon as Bill Norton was done, I would do it. So I waited my turn. I always waited my turn.
And you didn't mention what type of business you had.
So we were in the auto body business, and we started in the auto body business. My brother's a body man by trade and a heavy equipment operator. And myself, I'm a heavy equipment mechanic, and I grew up in the payloader industry, the construction industry. I buy and sell equipment. I've done that. I've sold hundreds of pieces of equipment that I've redone myself. And I had an uncle who was in the stone and road business, if you will. So I was pretty much brought up in this. So yes, my uncle had a stone and stone and quarry business, sand and stone. It's actually where Prime is today. It was a stone yard when I was a kid.
I remember that.
There was barges coming in and out of Huntington Harbor, and we grew up there as kids, and spent a lot of time in that around my uncle. He was a big contributor to Huntington, building Huntington. From putting in wings at the hospital, the heart center, my uncle put in there, the YMCA pool. My uncle put that in for the community, and I just wanted to start. I watched my family do what they did for Huntington, and I wanted to be more involved with Huntington, and that's what I did. I started helping, and like I said, a lot of outside contract stuff went through Mr. Norton at the time, and we worked with him hand in hand, whether it was moving snow, plowing snow, cleaning sumps, anything. I had trucks and sweepers my whole life.
So even back then, they were contracting the sump cleanings.
Back then, all the sump cleanings were getting outside contractors were subbed out. Today, we do it all in-house.
Yeah, so, very cool. All right, what have you accomplished in your elected position that you are the most proud of that directly benefits our community, or volunteer?
Well, the volunteer part, as you know, most people know, some people don't. I started my turkey drive, which feeds thousands of people a year. We're good for 3,000 turkeys per year now. We started out off the back of a pickup truck 17 years ago, way before politics were involved. And I don't consider this job politics anyway. For me, I'm just doing my job, and it's tough because, again, I like to get dirty every day. I'm not a numbers guy, and that's why we have a controller's office, a comptroller's office. Does anybody know the difference? Why is it called a comptroller, not a controller?
Comptrollers are financial. Controllers are more like engineers.
I like them both.
Yeah.
So they help us out quite a bit, and I work very good with them. And I got to say, the town board at Smith, they've managed to keep this AAA bond rating, which, doesn't hurt anybody. And the taxpayers, we're here to help them, right?
Yeah.
So that's why, again, getting back to what I did and, bringing food to, Texas for the hurricane people.
Oh, that's right.
Way before.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, way before.
The tractor trailer.
Yeah,
pulls.
way before.
Yeah.
This is just like one of the things, raising money for the pool at, that my uncle put in with Steve Stern.
Your uncle was Albuquerque, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
he started, he was, my mom's uncle. And, again, like I said, my father's a shoemaker. So my father goes to work every day. And, this is what we were taught. We love this town. I'm going to raise my kids in this town. And, I got, I could go on all day, what we've done, what we, before this. That's why I always say, listen, and, try and do something, pick something. The people that complain about like, oh, I volunteer as a fire commissioner. People are like, oh, this guy's getting double dipping. No, I don't. I don't get paid for that. I've been doing that for 11 years. That's because I love my town.
Yeah.
I'm not a firefighter.
You're not?
No.
Oh, I thought you were a firefighter.
No, I'm not. I'm one of the first fire commissioners. There's a couple. One of the first for Huntington. I know. I work with, I know everything about what happens, and I'm all about first responders, right? Yeah. So I work alongside them, and I loved it. They welcomed me with open arms. And, again, when the opportunity came to run for fire commissioner, I was like, yeah, sure, I'd love to do it. So 11 years ago, I did it, just trying to save money, for the firehouse too, and the residents. We want to give the residents, listen, if they need something, they know they can come to me, and it's to save people's lives. We're not playing games there. These guys, and they're really the girls and guys, because we have women who are firefighters too. They do a great job, and I'm all about Huntington. That's pretty much what I stand for.
All right, what do you have to say to disengaged voters who think their vote doesn't matter, and how will you inspire them to get to the polls?
Listen, every vote counts.
I know. Did you grow up as a voter, like passionately voting in your family?
When I turned 21, I started. I got started.
I was a late bloomer with this.
And again, I was. I wasn't really active as I am now, but I've always been, from the outside. I like watching what goes on. Listen, I love our town, so want to have a say in it.
Yeah, so there you
every
go.
vote counts.
That's actually sorry, I interrupted.
No, please.
The moral of the story is every vote counts. Really.
100%.
Really.
I think we have a great town. I'd like to keep it this way. There's some things that, you wish you could do more, but you can only do it with the budget you get. And I just thought
we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
that's one of the
100%,
because that's a bit of a hustle for your department.
And it always has been.
Yeah, exactly. That makes you a little bit unique from the rest of the town. If you could get this magic wand, if you could guarantee to get exactly what you want right away, what is something you would fix or improve in the town of Huntington, and what is something you never want to make changes to?
Let's start with what I don't want to make changes to. So the workforce that we have is great. Maybe a little underrated, because they should get more acknowledgement, I think, because we got 850 miles of road that we're taking care of.
Yeah.
And, we got 3 tree crews. We had 100+ trees down the last storm, and they get out there and they do it. They got it's all hands on deck.
Yeah.
And they do a great job. And, I got to say, I wouldn't change any of that. And, the people, the dispatchers, the girls that answer those calls one after another, it's crazy how many, they get these Q alerts. We have this Q alert system, and they're answering them, and we're there. And then, we have somebody monitoring Facebook and stuff. And, when we get a complaint, we try and take care of it. We try and get out there. But the other question?
Oh, sorry. Magic wand. If there's, you could guarantee to get exactly what you want right away, what is something you would fix or improve in the town of Huntington?
The budget.
More money.
More money.
More money.
That's a no-brainer.
That's your hustle.
No, you need
Yeah.
more money. And again, I sound, when I start calling the governor's office and they start getting that, you call enough times and they're like, he's on the phone again. Now now they know who you are.
So you go to the governor's office.
I've gotten the lieutenant governor for the first time is coming to the highway department.
Oh, great.
I got him to
He's
come
a
there.
nice guy.
Yep,
I've met him.
Gentleman.
Yeah.
And we actually, when I second maybe year I was there, and he came in and showed him everything. And, let's not forget, House Speaker comes, who's there with Steve Stern, helped me quite a bit. I have no trouble working across any lines, and I'm good with it.
That's true. They're Democrats.
And I've gotten, I don't know this with the question, but we've started the paving team that we have is incredible. They're right now.
And they were not. You didn't have an in-house. There wasn't prior. Right?
They fixed potholes and the little cutouts. They have this little baby machine. We have, again, thanks to Steve Stern and thanks to Carl Hasties, they came in and saw, and I was like surprised, and I said to them, I'm like, you're giving me money, like, all this money to do this. And I'm like, why didn't you give the last guy's money? And they said they had faith in me. So, which was a big, a big deal for me to get when someone gave me that. And Ed Smith says it all the time, town board. And like, when people say, oh, well, why you give him money? Well, because I know, and I got to say thank you to them because they're like, it's not going to go to waste. Let's put it that way. It's going out on the road. And, if I had to change something back to that, I wish we could fix sidewalks, but sidewalks are not, unfortunately, not part of us. It's not part of, it's part of whoever owns, like this particular building we're sitting in. If that sidewalk goes bad, it's on the owner.
Yeah.
And that's something I would love to change.
Right.
I don't.
And then there's this like major, we'll talk about that, but with the trees uprooting the sidewalk because it's a town tree uproots the sidewalk. The property owner can't fix it because you can't take the tree down.
I agree. We go some places.
Yeah.
Now you go grind the roots and the trees die. And now you just killed a perfectly good. But again, sometimes what we do to make it safe for people to pass and walk through, we'll go repair it with with asphalt just to make it safe. But there's some of these sidewalks you walk down, they're a BMX rider's dream. You can drive over. You can launch off those things. If I was still riding my BMX, I'd be flying up through the air with them. I'd be looking for them because they're around. And we go there, and we go over there, and we'll put some asphalt to make it like almost like a ramp. Yeah. Because some people
you can really get hurt.
100%, and some people don't want you to touch that tree. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. Because we've offered many times. We'll cut the tree, grind the roots, you fix the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we'll leave it alone.
Yeah.
So,
all right, what is the job description of the superintendent of highways and what are you responsible for?
So we're responsible for snowing, drainage, trees, we're out there, I get out there a little bit, as soon as I know it's going to snow, we'll get out there, we pre-treat the roads, we make sure we have, we get out there and do that. I'd rather be safe than not go. So, if you don't get out there as soon as it starts snowing, people are like, oh, well, why are you out already? Well, if you don't get ahead of it, the minute there's more than an inch of snow on the road and people drove over it, it's a wrap. You're not going to get it back. Right.
Yeah.
So some cleaning, some clearing. We've started that program. We've done over 100, and there's like 600 sumps in Huntington.
Yeah.
And we've 700 sumps in Huntington, recharge basins.
Yeah. So
we're up to probably 150 now, just about 150 of cleaning them and getting them to drain again. As far as roads go, we've paved probably more than you know, 2 superintendents put together. And that's, you know, that's only because we're lucky enough. It's not because we got more money. It's just lucky enough that, you know, started a program and back to what is the job, right? So when I got there, there was 75 pieces of equipment down, 70 pieces of equipment that were out of service. And then 2 days later, we got hit with a blizzard. So, you know, we got 3 feet of snow on the ground. And it's like, okay, welcome to the highway department. So, but, you know, just had to do what we had to do. And everybody there was incredible. When I got there, there was only 75 outside contractors because half of them quit.
Oh, you're talking about plow.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah.
So we brought it back. We're back up to over like 125. We hope to get 150. And, you know,
you had to raise the rates.
They had to raise the rates a little bit because they're working back, you know, with Bill Norton's rates.
Yeah. Wow.
And, you know, it's just, it's not, it wasn't feasible for people to come here, including myself before I worked here. You know, I worked for the county because they paid more money. So you had to go where the money was. So for me, this whole thing about rebuilding the equipment, we'll get back to that. So I went in, we got together, we put a program together, and was lucky enough, town board, Ed Smith, they voted on giving me $300,000.
Separate from the highway budget.
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason I was able to do that was because I said, I don't want to buy new equipment in my first year here. And they're like, okay, so what are you going to do with the $300,000? So take a truck, for instance. I'll take, you know, we'll take it in, we'll go through it bumper to bumper. And between 25 and 30,000, we refurbish that particular dump truck.
For $30,000.
When a new one is 350,000.
Right.
So we did that. We did that for 2 years, 3, 6, and then next year it lowered it down for 6, I think 800,000. We basically we've rebuilt the whole fleet.
Wow.
Payloaders are $500,000.
Yeah, big time.
We've done 6 of those, maybe 7 of those already.
And then the consequence of that is that you'd be bonding it. Right, if you had to buy new.
The good news is, if you looked it up, all the savings that it saved the town, it's like going to be, it's $20 million by the time you're done.
And are you actually crawling underneath those trucks doing repair work, or you rely on?
If I had to, I'm not asking. I could, if I could, I would. But union, you know.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But I will get in there with them. I know exactly. I will never ask anybody to do something that I haven't done 50 times. That's in the whole thing. The whole, you know, it's good to, you know, it's good to have people do things for you, but when you know how it's supposed to be done, and they're doing a great job. So I know they're doing a great job just by looking at what they're doing. So I think that's where the experience comes in.
Yeah. All right, great. So obviously this is a stupid question. Have you worked in construction, highway maintenance, or public works before? We'll assume that's a yes. If so, how has that experience shaped your understanding of the superintendent of highways job? Now, we did touch on this. If you wanted to expand, you could, or we can move to the next question. Up to you.
I've started.
You're good?
I started in the automotive game at 13, 2 doors away. Right from here, from where we are. There was a gas station across the street from Butter Cookie Bakery. When I was a kid, it was a mobile gas station, and the owner had 2 gas stations. That one and where Walgreens is.
Oh, that was a gas station?
It was a mobile gas station as well. Yes. So, African-American family, Rufus Harris, and all his kids. He had I think he had 9 kids altogether. I believe it was 9. And the boys, obviously, every boy was a mechanic. So I think it was 3 girls and the rest boys. So I grew up with them at 13, I worked at the gas station. They lived 2 doors away from me where I grew up, right around the corner as well. And I was lucky enough, my afternoons and summers were spent at the gas station.
Learning from the
And
best.
the guy was incredible. He raised his family, owned 2 gas stations, and came here from down south. And to me, watching, my father couldn't speak English very well, and he couldn't speak Italian very well, but they got along perfectly.
Wow.
So
That's
to me,
cool.
I
That's
watched
very
that,
cool.
and it was kind of the same thing. Everything was kind of against this guy coming into
Yeah.
business in Huntington. It was hard for him in the
Yeah.
50s. My father came here in the 50s as well, which was very difficult. He didn't know the language. But again, watching these 2 guys navigate through everything gave me a chance to say, you know what? I went to school. They didn't. And they did very well, both of them. I mean, those were people like, oh, who is your heroes? Who's your heroes in your life? Guys like that. My father, Rufus Harris, those guy was my best friend. He was 50, I was 13. Today, that'd be frowned upon.
Yeah.
But you know what? I spent every minute I could learning more. But, and not to mention, my uncle was in the heavy equipment industry. So I had a plus on how to, learn that as well. For me, watching that is like what Huntington's about. Then I look at that and watch these guys that they had no chance. They came here and it was all the odds were against them.
Yeah.
So
It's incredible.
And I watched what they did when people came in and maybe they were down on their luck, and the both of them wasn't always about making money. It was about helping people too.
Amazing. How would you describe your leadership style, and what steps do you take to ensure accountability, communication, and efficiency from administrative staff to maintenance crews? Because you have very diverse, I don't know, assortment of professionals underneath you that make the department run, right?
Yes. So, we have people that run the accountant end, and, we have people at the engineer side, and then you got the street supervisors, and, it's just, I think the maintenance crews that are on the street, and the guys in the shop.
Yeah. Right.
And there's 3 yards,
Right.
We run a sign division too. We do all the street signs.
Really?
So for me, I advocate for, my people that work for me. I put them, they're up here, I'm over here. Because to me, without them, there's nothing, you don't get nothing done.
Yeah, because you're one person. How can you be?
Exactly.
Right.
So anybody, and I know what I'm looking at. So it's kind of hard when someone's telling you should do it this way, and that you should do it this way. And, most people that do this job, I think, should have a resume that comes with it. And that's only my personal opinion. It's good to point the finger and tell people to do something, but when you haven't done it yourself, it's kind of,
that's true.
I don't know. I just feel that it's for me, I wouldn't be where I am. And I trust these people that work for us. They're doing a great job. I don't think, personally, in 4 years, there's very minimal that I've changed, other than we do more paving. We started an in-house paving crew. And, we never had that.
Really didn't exist before.
No,
and that's made a tremendous
and again, when we get a complaint, let's say from anything, Facebook, wherever, we have the ability now to go out and do it. The engineers every year come up with a program. Okay. And the foremans of that area, the supervisors of that area, they'll write down the worst roads. Okay. And I've said this.
And sometimes it may not look like the worst roads when you glance at it, but underneath it could be in really bad shape, right?
Again, the winters beat up a road. The colder it is, the worse it is, right? And we have the ability now where we're doing 20 plus miles a year, 25 miles a year in-house. We've never done that before. We couldn't even do it. We couldn't do it. It was impossible. We had no equipment. Right. We have a paving machine. We have a milling machine. We have rollers. We have trucks that pull it. I was able, to jump off topic, but I was able to buy these DOT trucks. We bought some used DOT trucks that the city had.
Department of Transportation.
Yep. They were like 6 years old. They came off lease. We bought them. You know, we paid like $120,000 for them. I think we bought 4 of them for the paving crew. And now we have legitimate trucks that can go out and use them for paving. Never heard of before.
So what would happen before? Like on the average, how many miles were paved before, and how
In-house?
much did it cost? No, even just
In-house, nothing.
Nothing.
When I got there was no in-house paving. You know, I don't think they've done any in-house, and from what I understand, since Bill Norton's been gone, and that was 2 superintendents.
Because I remember that when I was a kid, but that was Bill Norton's crew. Seeing the
and again, you know,
crews.
certain people want to say, you know, you hear people, you know, jabbering about, oh, you know, you're only paving because it's election time. We've paved right out of the gate, day one. When I got there, maybe March 1st, the first year, we came out, boom, we hit it hard. And, you know, the outside contractor at the time did a great job. Now we have a new outside contractor, you know, whoever wins the bid, that's how it goes. But they're doing a good job. And, you know, now we're up to over 100 miles, you know, a
in
year.
4 years. Oh, a year.
Yeah, so you went from doing 30 to 100.
With an outside contractor.
Yeah, and now we're doing an extra 20, 25 in-house.
Right.
So, you know, and that's,
and saving money.
you know, when you're talking, that's straight down the double yellow line, right? So when you go both ways, now it's 400. So you're going, you know, where you got 800 miles, 850 miles of road, but, you know, again, it's been said, the budget that we get is the same one Bill Norton got.
So, I mean, that's later.
Nothing's changed.
Like
Nothing's changed.
Let's talk about the budget. So how do you manage the department's budget to ensure resources are used efficiently and effectively, particularly given the ongoing backlog for road maintenance? You're in a big challenge there.
100%.
It's a dance. So how much is your budget?
It's over 20 million. You know, it's like 23 million. But, you know, that salaries.
Right, and that's a separate budget line from the town.
Yeah, if you look at the paving budget,
Yeah.
if you just take the paving budget, it's like 7 million.
Right,
It's 200,000 a mile
$200,000 a mile to pave.
to pave. So
That's paying outside contractor, or that's the average cost including inside?
no, that's outside. That's
Okay.
outside. Inside, we already have the labor here.
Right,
The labor force is here already.
right.
And again, here's a crew that, you know, what I don't, you know,
They
before
were
this.
already there?
Yes, no
Okay.
no people were hired new to do. They trained, they
Just
learned, and they're doing a fine job.
Yeah,
they you know, they're going out there and they're hitting it every day. And you know, we're going to pave this year 6 months. You know,
That's great.
but like I said, I was able to
The weather, it's
kinda
also weather dependent, yeah.
parlay some of that savings of not buying new equipment and asking, can we use it? Because it's really allocated the way it's allocated.
Oh, right, so you would have to ask for permission
Right.
from the
So
town, so
we
there has to be
did-
a resolution and everything to transfer the money?
Yes. And
Wow.
we did that, and we were lucky enough to pull that off. And again, with the highway department, you know, when you look outside, you know, whether it's a sump getting cleaned, trees getting picked up, roads getting paved, drainage getting put in, you know, you're getting a product.
Yeah,
You know, it's not like some fake jobs.
Right.
There's people hustling, doing what they got to do
Right.
every day.
so the next is, what is your strategy for securing additional state or federal funding to address infrastructure needs and safety concerns? We've touched on that already.
Grant, we go for grant money.
grants,
I'm
yeah.
big with that. We
So
have-
do you look for the grants, or you have a team in-house?
We at town hall we have Jonas Wagner. That's a
Okay, so he's
big,
always
big with that.
searching.
Yep,
Okay.
and you know
That's great.
I go right to Steve Stern and work alongside with him, and so far
Amazing.
he's gotten us a backhaul truck.
Right,
And
that thing's cool.
you know,
I saw it
it's a
at the touch of the road.
$700,000 piece of equipment. You know,
Wow.
and the town
Brand
of
new,
Huntington.
right?
Yes, the town of Huntington owns 2 of them. Not one at Highway, one at the sewer plant. So now at least we'll have another one.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a big deal. That thing works every day. You know,
And that's just drain.
It's like a
sucks out the
vacuum
gunk
cleaner.
From
Yep.
the drains
Yep.
and the
we have an outside.
sewage. Does it
that-
work for sewage too? For
Um,
the sewer lines if there's
I
a
think
clog?
I'm pretty sure they have a jetter in there
Oh, they
that
have
they
a jetter,
use for
okay.
that. It's same truck though. It has a
Oh,
jetting
oh,
device
oh,
on the
okay.
front of it. Yep.
Amazing. Amazing. That's great. And then what about public-private partnerships? Have you guys ever considered that? Like with businesses and stuff? I don't know if there's anything they could do, like sponsor a train.
It's funny because I started that when I was in general service. I started this program. It was called Adopt a Corner.
Right. Okay,
And never really like
took off.
kicked off, but
Yeah.
I again, if somebody calls us and say, I want to clean out this piece of town property, it's next door to your house and you want to maintain it. I don't think there's a reason why anybody should stop them from doing that, especially if it's right next door to your house or it's like a breezeway going to a sump. Some people they want to cut it themselves, and we never frown on that, or an island in the middle of the street.
Right.
Some people like, I want to take care of it. No problem. That's fine. You should be able to
beautify it.
Yeah.
100%. Some people like flowers, whatever they want to put there. You got to look at it every day. So it's like, of course.
We talked about this also already. How would you approach working with other town departments and outside agencies to coordinate major projects or resolve infrastructure issues? I know you've been faced with this before. Hurricane Isaias comes to mind because we were just totally overwhelmed with that, with the trees and the stumps and all that. I remember seeing your yard and what you guys had to do to get that handled.
I was before me. I was in general service, and at the time, it's like you
Stuff like
deal
that
with
hits you and you're like,
when you have to be ready, and we're on call with the people, Looks Great Services, and he, at the drop of a dime, he can get 50 trucks here that do that.
Amazing.
Within like 24 hours, they're here.
Wow.
And I've seen it because we use them in general service as well, and they run what they got to run, and we obviously the highway department, we're assisting them as well. I've never been, so far so good. We haven't had any major storms, but when I worked alongside them in general service, I watched what they were doing, and they're a well-oiled machine, and they'll get 100 out, between trucks, contractors with payloaders and excavators or whatever you need. They'll get it done, and they get it done.
And they have the equipment here locally too.
Exactly.
And they are the founders of the Holiday Spectacular, Wall Street and Huntington Village, Marcus and his family. All right, great. So paving, the highway department maintains hundreds of miles of roads and drainage infrastructure. How will you decide which projects take priority each season? And you were talking about your engineers and that it's a collaborative effort.
Yes, and I mean, even myself, if people call in, they'll put a Q alert in, they complain about it,
and a Q alert is on that on the
town website.
Right, the town website, and you go to the highway department area, and then there's a place where you can submit, like click a button and submit if you have a pothole or
anything, tree down,
or whatever it is. There's a list of things, or other, which dead animals sometimes, and then it takes
or a street sign down,
street sign, right? Takes you. Oh, by the way, the street sign leaving our house, it needs to be replaced. I'll tell you that after.
We'll do a lower.
Yeah, we'll do a Q alert. I do it all the time. It gives you GPS location, right? And then it texts you immediately every time it gets updated. And I know you guys gave us a tour of the control room. It's like this huge map with these dots and
all the supervisors, they get it direct for their areas, and then they go out and they take care of it. And then they'll write up a report usually of roads that we've gotten complaints on, and I mean, there's roads in Huntington that haven't been touched in 30 years, and why? I don't know, and that's before me. When we got here, we figured we were going to do the main drags first, the roads that are used every day, and a lot of problems come into effect, like I'll use South Down Road, for instance. We're getting a boatload of complaints about that. It's not the highway department. The gas company cut it up. Now they have to pay us to redo that road to the way it was before, because it's less than 5 years old. But people see the roads ripped up. They think it's the highway department. Right. And we're trying to tell people, whether it's the first responders, whether it's, the schools, and we're trying to tell them it's the gas company. But listen, you're driving down a bumpy road, you'd think one thing.
I know, and it makes I mean, right after our road, years ago when our road was paved, like 2 months later, it got chopped up from
Right.
the utility, and then they left this terrible, it's horrible.
It's
But that was before, before you.
The
But,
good news is
and they didn't pave curb to curb.
they have to
just did
pave
this
curb
little
to
thing in
curb.
the
They have
middle.
to put it
That's
back
great.
the way it was. And, you know, like that particular road, it's used by thousands of people every day. And it's a disaster. And we want to make sure that people get it, that it's, you know, once they touch it, with, you know, use this road as an example next door here. It's cement. Years ago, they used to just put asphalt and it looked like a checkerboard.
Yeah.
Today, we make sure it's put back the way it was.
Right.
And they're good. They are actually good. They're paying us cost share. We're getting our money back, and we're able to do what we have to do to put the roads back. So
you determine how much they have to pay? So you set the rate of what
yeah,
the
well,
cost is?
whatever the cost is to repair from the outside contractor.
Okay.
You know, and you know, back to that. So if I see a road that's terrible, sometimes we can't even go do it because the gas company's coming in to rip it up. So like, why haven't you done my road? You did every road around the neighborhood except for these three. Well, yours are getting gas hookups next year, so we don't want to do that, or a water change, or you know, even electric now.
Was it West Park or East Park in my neighborhood drive where the one half of the road was paved but the other wasn't because the utility companies
We had to wait for them. Yeah.
And they kept kicking it down the road. It was like years before
17th Street, the other side of 17th Street. Well, if you're going up Depot, make a right.
Yeah.
You know, every time I turn around, they're doing another cutout, another cutout, another cutout. And we did the other side, the left side, we paved because they were finished. So we are working together with them now. I think it's much better than it used to be. But listen, sometimes we'll pave a road in Union Place. I'll use that as an example. We did it. 2 weeks later, they ripped it up. And they said, what are you going to do? It was an emergency gas problem.
I remember that one.
And they ripped it up.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, what can you do? You're going to let the gas just keep, you know, you got to fix it.
Yeah.
But they did a beautiful job.
And
you wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know
that's
that,
good.
you know, and that's a good thing. You
That's
know,
great.
So
that's great. All right, we have a few minutes left. Looking ahead, what are your top priorities for the highway department over the next few years?
I would, for the next few years, I would like to concentrate on paving as much as we can, getting more money in the highway budget. I've been asking. I ask every year for the last 3 years.
So it's been 20 million since the 80s.
It's 23 million, right? Since Bill Norton was in. Nothing's changed. It's always been the same.
The 90s, maybe? Yeah.
Bill left, I'm here 3, so 4 before me, 4, you know, I'd say
7, so
12 years ago.
Yeah, 12 years ago. Okay.
It'll be 12
So
years. And, you know, the thing is, I've seen letters that he wrote, and it was a constant battle.
Yeah.
The good news with me, I get along with everybody.
Yeah.
Till I don't.
Great. And the sandwiches only go so far.
But the thing is that, you know, Bill had a constant battle. Even, you know, guys after Bill.
Yeah.
It was. I always remember hearing it. It was like a constant battle. I got to say, knock on wood, you know, they're very good to me. When I got there, it was like everybody, even, you know, work with me and working with Steve and, you know, all of them. Everybody works great.
I mean, I should have realized this a heck of a lot sooner, but realizing now how important that is too, when we vote, choosing, you know, our elected officials that'll make a good team in the multiple departments and work together, because that's how we get what we get. We get progress that way.
Not going to get anywhere, you know, bickering,
if they're all
you know, like everybody's
and
fighting.
Holding it and putting flags on it. This is mine, you know.
And I got to say, for the last, since general service, which was 4 years before that, and, you know, no, everybody worked with me. No, I never had a problem.
So speaking to the working with, a lot of people don't understand town versus county versus state roads.
Yeah.
We do know that a lot of people will come to you for Park Avenue or 110.
Jericho, 110, Main Street.
And you will step in and say, listen, I know I'll just get it done. I want to help
If it's
out.
bad and it's causing a hazard,
Yeah.
we'll go out there and do what we got to do. And, listen, ask, we'd rather ask for forgiveness than
Right.
permission.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to
Do
get
they,
it done.
did I give you sanctions?
You know what it is?
You're
No.
going to fix
No, they
things
just,
that
you
are
know what it
messed
is? Some people,
Are
even
not
like
your
if we're going from this road to the next road,
Mhm.
we're going to just plow around. We're not going to lift our plow up and,
Right.
oh, you're plowing a state road. We're going to the next road. So we're going to just keep the plow down. We're not going to lift it up.
Yeah.
So I've never had any issues. I call the state,
Mhm.
I call the county,
Mhm.
whoever it is,
Mm.
they whatever whatever we need, and they do the
So
same
they
thing
work-
with us.
They work with you.
100%,
Okay.
Yeah, that's
100%.
great.
And
That's great.
anything we ask, and I'll call up or they call me, and listen, we're doing something now that's that's never been done before. We block for all the parades. The highway department blocks all the parades now. If you notice, the
I
trucks.
did. We just
Yeah.
the trucks.
Yes.
Yeah. Because did you
Yeah.
So-
always use your sawhorses? I don't know.
They used to just use the
Your blockades,
right.
the highway
And
departments, or was it always town? I just noticed
both.
recently it
It's
was
both.
highway. Okay.
But so what happened? There was
Yeah,
a
I saw
couple
your
of
trucks. Yeah.
parades that ended up with tragic incidents, and along with Second Precinct.
Not in this area.
I don't think. Thank God, no.
Not in Huntington.
I think it was Bay Shore,
Bay
maybe.
Shore. Okay.
But once I heard about it, and I was here, and I was able to do what we do,
yeah, that's
fall
smart.
festival,
Mhm.
holiday
yeah.
parade,
Mhm.
we come and we block it up. And
Yeah,
the
they
city
block it.
started it. I can't take credit for it, but I
Yeah.
watched in the city, they do it with garbage trucks.
Yeah.
So I said, let's do it. And Second Precinct was all for it. And,
Yeah. 'cause it
And,
makes
we
barrier.
work great with them.
Mhm.
And, again, if you can't work together, this doesn't work.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just in general, if
Yeah.
everybody just worked together,
Yeah.
just stop the fight. It's not worth it.
All right. So finally, what message would you like to share with Huntington residents as they decide who will lead the highway department moving forward?
I feel I've been here long enough to say I made promises that I'm going to fix the roads. I've fixed a lot of them.
Mhm.
I wish I could make it rain asphalt. I can't.
That would actually be really bad for my garden, so please don't do that.
So I just, give me another shot, and so I can do, the other half of town. I want to get it done, and I'm happy to help, any way I can. I left something out I wanted to say.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So I started a CDL program for people
Right.
that can't afford.
So CDL is a commercial driver's
Mhm.
license, and
And
usually it's thousands of dollars
it's
to go to
over-
a school.
Yes, right now it's about $7,000.
Wow. I
So
remember when it was too.
Yep. When I did it, it was like 1,500.
Yeah.
So I'm dating
So
myself.
and it's required for you to be able to be licensed.
If you want to
drive.
move up, if you
Okay.
you want to get a job at the highway department, you need a CDL.
Yeah.
So there's other departments that we have in Huntington. And
Mhm.
if you work here, let's say part-time in the summer,
Mm-hmm.
you get your permit, we train you at the highway department.
Mm.
We help you get your license. We give you a truck to go take your test in,
Wow.
and it saves you thousands of dollars. So we've done probably 50 plus people so far.
Wow.
That
and
got
even
their
part-timers.
license. Yeah, seasonal.
Seasonal,
Summer
yeah,
person
yeah,
comes
yeah.
and works here in the summer. We help them get their license so they can,
Move
It-
forward,
It-
elevating.
it helps you.
smart.
they don't have to come work here. They can
Right.
get a job anywhere
And
they
you
want.
just have to be certified by DMV to do it, right?
Well, there
was
we're
a process?
we're the my guy in the truck
Uh-huh.
is certified CDL,
Okay.
and the people that are training, they obviously have to have a license.
Yeah.
They have to have a permit, and then we can train them. So
Okay.
they go, they get this
Awesome.
something called an ED. I don't know what it's called. It's an EDL or something. They have to get that through motor vehicle. That's the
Oh,
only thing they
okay.
have to do. EDT, I think it's called.
Oh, okay. Like a form or
but
something.
it's online. They do it
okay.
online, and it's training online. They get the permit and then they come with us, and we help them.
You do
So
the
we've
road
ended up
trip.
saving, thousands of dollars for people by helping them. when, while they're working here. EDLT.
EDLT. All right, good to know. Thanks, Andre.
So,
This is great.
again, like I said, if you come out November 4th and support me and vote for me, and hopefully I won't let you down.
Thanks so
you.
much for chatting.
you.
And we're always here, Huntington
Thank you.
Matters, to help our community in any way we can as well. So
Thank you for
we're
what
always
you
there
guys
for
do
you
too.
guys.
It's much appreciated by everybody.
Thank you, Andre.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Have a great
Thank
day.
you. Thank you. You too.